pudding, and the pudding in this case is a football. Boom! Eat my goal! The goalie has got football pie all over his shirt.
Welcome to this episode of the Down the Pub podcast. On this episode, I am joined by one of the pillars of the Halifax Wanderers defense, Cale Loughrey. Am I saying your last name right? I always feel like I'm getting it wrong. Okay.
Yeah, Loughrey.
Yeah, because I know sometimes on One Soccer they say a little bit funny, so I just wanted to make sure I was getting it right. So yeah, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I've had Dan on, so I thought it'd be a good idea to get his partner in crime on and get to know you a little bit better too. So before we normally get into stuff, we just ask a couple of kind of fluffy questions just to get you in the mood of things. So your dream holiday destination?
I've always wanted to go to New York for Christmas. Yeah, it just looks so much more better. Like you see it in the movies and stuff like that, but I never end up going because it's a bit expensive and stuff, and I don't always have the time. But I think that would be my dream, I guess, vacation.
Well, I think that Matteo Restrepo, who played last year and then left, and he's now a doctor down there, he might be able to hook you up with a spare room or something. Yeah. So yeah, just reach out to him and he'll hook you up. Worst dresser on the team?
Worst dresser? That's a tough one.
Because there's so many.
Yeah, it would have to be probably Aiden Rushnes's, the keeper.
Love it. He's a kid, right? So he's just fair.
Yeah.
Do you have an apartment on your own, or do you share with somebody?
I share an apartment with Tiago and Aiden Rushnes.
Yeah. So what's their worst habits? I'm throwing you under the bus here, man, huh?
Yeah. I guess, Aiden for sure just being loud. Like he's super loud at times. And Tiago probably, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Tiago is perfect. He's a perfect flatmate. Okay. I love it. Yeah. I love it. So obviously last Monday we're coming off an unfortunate defeat to Pacific. That was my first game since June, so I know I'm the jinx, so I'm not going to go to the game on Saturday. But what's the mood been like around the team? Obviously it's their first home loss in 6 games.
Yeah, no, it's we had a talk right after the game, and we kind of just agreed that it sucks, and we kind of just talked about everything there, and that when we had training the next morning, so we just said, look, we come out tomorrow and we just kind of forget about it, and because it's a short week, it's already match day -2 today, so we can't dwell on it. We just have to get on with it and prepare for Vancouver. So that's kind of how it was. So it's honestly been good. But we know we have to raise it this week.
It seemed like obviously we played Pacific a couple of weeks ago and we beat them, but they obviously had a few more players back this time. What do you think was the difference? What was there a different intensity to them? Did they set themselves up differently? Because we didn't seem like the Wanderers that have been so prolific, I guess, in the last few games.
Yeah, I think what we kind of came to as a team was that we when we won the ball back, we lost it in kind of critical areas where we don't usually lose it, and I think we were just kind of flat from the start, honestly. I don't know why, but yeah, I think we still deserved a draw at least. We were unlucky to not get that, but yeah, I feel like we weren't as good as we normally are.
So just looking at Twitter and stuff, obviously the penalty decision in the first half was a big thing. So do you think that the fact that we didn't win that when it was quite clearly a penalty, and I know you kind of have to move on and get on with the game and stuff like that, but do you think that kind of pushed us back a little bit? It was kind of feeling a bit hard done by?
Yeah, for sure. When I remember, even for me, my first foul where I was just running back, the ref gives me a yellow. And for me, I'm a physical guy. That kind of ruins part of my game because I have to be careful now. The rest of the game, I can't go flying in, and I think that was pretty early on in the game, and then yeah, so that's when I knew like this game, it's this ref is not gonna be with us, and then I saw that, and at the time when I saw Massimo go down, I couldn't really see if it was a penalty or not, or maybe he just tripped. But yeah, when I watched it back, it was insane that he even booked Mass for diving, which was crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, and obviously it's still a developing league, and the refs are going to be obviously part of that. But as a fan, it's kind of frustrating. So, how difficult is it for as a player to try and put that out of your mind? You kind of feel like you've got something, though you should have got something, but you didn't.
Yeah, it is difficult, but I think all of us on the team have been through enough like hard times with football that we know you can't look back. You just have to keep moving forward, whether it's after a loss or after a win. But yeah, you got to keep pushing, and of course we want to be better for our fans, because I know that game, well, it was a sold out stadium too, which was disappointing that we didn't get the 3 points. But yeah, that's what we're really looking forward to, because we haven't beat Vancouver either. So, we're looking forward to getting the 3 points off them and playing for you guys.
Oh, it's kind of funny though. Like, obviously Vancouver are a brand new team, but how close the league is, there's very little difference. It's little things that are, and that's why you're seeing like the positions change so frequently. Do you notice that yourself, like when you're playing against teams, that there's no easy game? I know it's a kind of a cliche, but like it feels like there is no easy games in the league.
Yeah, I feel like anybody on their day can win. And yeah, it is very close this year. I remember last year it wasn't this close with the teams, but yeah, it just makes us know that we have to come every day and play at our top, because even against the teams that are at the bottom right now, like Valor and Vancouver, like they could still beat us, like as you saw with Vancouver that one time. So yeah, it just puts more I guess importance on our build up towards that game throughout the week.
So you were playing against you're up against Eastern Ongaro, and I know you kind of said there you're kind of a physical player. Obviously, Eastern Ongaro isn't a small man; he's a big guy. So do you kind of relish those kind of challenges, like coming up against? Because obviously he's like one of the top scorers of the league of all time and stuff like that. Do you kind of relish that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really think of it differently. Every striker I know, like honestly, the strikers for me that I know I'm gonna have a tough time against possibly are the guys that like I've played against, like Diaz, who's coming up. Like he's a striker that has really good movement, like will stay offside, come in at the last second and make runs. Where like Ongaro, he kind of just he's a bit more calm, and yeah, he didn't really give I guess me and Dan much trouble up until the assist he got. But no, I feel like, yeah, I prepare the same kind of for everybody, but I know what qualities they have and the differences they have from the opponents I played last week and stuff like that.
So just speaking about your relationship with Dan, like you guys are, it's like probably from the third or fourth game you've pretty much played against alongside each other. So what qualities does Dan have that kind of complement your game?
I think one of his best qualities is definitely his like distribution, and like how composed he is on the ball. That's that like when I watch him play, that's something that I notice and that I want to learn from. And I have been learning from. It's just, yeah, him picking out a pass, beating like a line or two and stuff like that. That's the stuff that, like, yeah, I think is one of his best attributes to his game.
So who's the talker? Like, are you the guy who's telling you where to move to? Is Dan, or are you depending on Jan? Like, who's kind of like the one who's pushing you around the place?
Yeah, no, Jan talks a lot. But yeah, honestly, we all talk because like I'm sure Lorenzo and Rampy and Mo don't want to always hear Jan. So me and Dan are talking to to the sixes and stuff like that. But yeah, no, Jan does talk a lot, especially to us. step the lineup and stuff like that.
So like obviously part of the back line now, like Wesley's kind of come in as a left back, which nobody had thought that he would be playing that position. Are you surprised at how quickly he's adapted to playing in that position?
No, actually, I'm not too surprised because I remember last year I was playing with him at Edmonton, and he played a couple games there. And I know like from that year, like Wesley, like he actually played everywhere. He played right wing, left wing, right back, probably. So I know he's a pretty versatile player, and he picks up his role pretty quick. So yeah.
So do you find like you're kind of telling him where to go a lot because obviously he's trying to adapt to something that's slightly different?
Yeah, like when he first started playing left back, he would always just ask me like, "Am I shifting too much?" Yeah, like just questions like that, and he was just really eager to learn, just like get that new role down so that he's ready to play it, which is great. And yeah, he picked it up pretty quick. But yeah, he talks to me. We talk a lot, honestly, on the field, like whether it's like Ungaro running in behind him or stuff like that. So
Like talking about FC Edmonton, obviously, like it was a crazy year last year for everybody that was involved with it and stuff like that. So, like the guys that played on that team, have you guys kind of built a little bit of a bond where, like, you've kind of all been through the trenches with it? You know what I mean? Like, because come the end of the season, nobody kind of knew where you were going to end up, what was going to happen.
um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like on FC Edmonton, it was kind of it was definitely different than it is here. Like even just like I guess amongst the team, like it was we like at Edmonton, not everybody was as close as they are here. So like when I found out Wesley was coming to Halifax, it was actually pretty soon after the season and before I knew I was coming. So when I signed, I was talking to him a bit, and we were pretty excited to get to work because I was telling him about Patrice and how he's a good coach and stuff like that, and it's going to be good football, and he was pretty excited. So
Nice, nice, nice. So like I don't mean to dwell too much on like last year because obviously you want to kind of look forward, but like what was it like playing like with that kind of thing hanging over your head that all this crazy stuff was happening with the club, and like obviously you got to worry about your own career and stuff like that. Was it just a very odd time for you?
yeah, for us as players, it was we didn't really like there wasn't much going on like in front of our eyes for the club. Like we obviously knew like when we got there, the club wasn't had no owner and stuff like that. So yeah, it wasn't really good from the start. But I think just yeah, playing every week and stuff like that, not getting results, it kind of unmotivates some players and stuff like that, and it's hard to keep going and be serious and stuff like that. But yeah, honestly, when you're playing, you don't really think about all the stuff going on outside the club, like whether it has no owner and stuff. You kind of just go on and try to get results, the best you can.
So how did the move come around the Halifax? Like, what did did Patrice reach out, or because it sounds like you've had a relationship with him before? So, and what was his vision that he gave you for the club?
Yeah. So I remember I was training when I came home in the off season, I was training with Vaughn a bit, and that's when I heard people start talking about, oh yeah, Pat's going to Halifax. Apparently, like he signed to Halifax before it all happened. And I was like, oh, like when I was thinking of that, I was like, okay, like, that would be amazing if, he brings me in and stuff like that. Cause I remember like when I played under Pat, it was great and I loved it. So I was really looking forward to that. But at the time I was still in like complications with Forge, and my agent really couldn't he was calling them and stuff like that, and they weren't really talking to him. So it was kind of it was pretty stressful for me, honestly, because I didn't know what would happen this year. Because even if Pat wanted to bring me in and I was still with Forge, I couldn't do it. Something like that. I don't know. It was complicated. But yeah, like he got the job, and then I'm training, and I'm just kind of joking around with him like about about him and me with Halifax, and he's like, I remember he told me one day, he's like, Forge is gonna take you. Don't worry, like you're not coming here. And I was like, it's okay. Like I wasn't like upset, but I kind of had a feeling like he was like, because yeah, he was joking a bit. That's how he is to me. He never wants to like to tell me things until the last minute, like literally the last minute with everything. So I and then I was just training in and out a couple weeks, and then I remember I was at my niece's soccer game, and I get a call from him. And anytime you get a call from Patrice out of the blue, you know it's going to be something good. Especially when, well, not maybe not now since I'm on his team, but before, yeah, I knew it was going to be something good. So I answered it, and like the first thing he says to me is like, he's like, yeah, Cale, you're gonna come with us. And then that's like just like that. And I was super happy, and I was like, okay, like I know there's obviously some more complications, but yeah. And then basically, yeah, he told me like, yeah, you're gonna come with us. You know, it's gonna be great. We're looking to get a really good team, and you know, obviously knock ball. And then yeah, that's kind of how it happened. And then maybe like a couple more weeks until it was finalized, and I got the contract. And then yeah, it was all good from there.
That's amazing. I love that. Like just the call out of the blue and it's like, hey, this is gonna be good. You know what I mean? I love it.
That's what he's known for with me. Like he loves that.
So you know, obviously, like as you mentioned, like you were with Forge, like last year. Was it last year you were kind of with Forge, and then
Yeah.
you moved to Edmonton on loan or wherever it was?
Yeah. With Forge before the season, I always signed like a 2-game contract with them for the CONCACAF, and then before the season, they loaned me out to Edmonton.
So what was that experience like playing in the CONCACAF against like one of the heavyweights of CONCACAF football? I know you came on for like a time there towards the end of the game. Was it crazy?
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember it was for my debut to come on against Cruz Azul. I remember like my dad and my brothers were in the stands. It was a cold night in Hamilton, and yeah, I was warming up, and all I hear in the distance is Cale. And that's honestly like I did not think I was gonna go in that game. So when I heard that, I was like, my heart's pumping. Like I don't know what I'm thinking, and they tell me I'm going on as like a left wing back, and to just run forward, get back, and like I don't play left wing back. You know, like I'm not a big like I'm not like a Zach Fernandez who can do that all game and stuff. And even though it's 8 minutes, I was like exhausted after. Like I think with the adrenaline and stuff running through my body, like yeah, it was like the hardest like 8 minutes of my life. But it was a really good moment.
So like with could you instantly tell you were playing against a really good team? Do you know, like when that kind of step up where you're just like, oh fuck, I'm in the game here kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like I knew I was going to be like against something I've never played before, you know, like a new level. But honestly, when I got on the ball, it wasn't like a guy's coming at me, destroying me in a challenge or something like that. I actually like I had time on the ball, but it's you see like the I don't know, like the top, I guess, as you go up and stuff like that, like in levels, teams they don't really care, I guess, about where you get on the ball. It's just they don't let it go in their net, you know. And I feel like yeah, when I was playing, I think I made maybe like 5-6 passes or something like that. Did like an overlap, and but like I think we were 2-1 down in the game, so they were kind of just sitting back, so I had more time on the ball. But yeah, no, it's just you see the qualities of some of these players, especially when I went to Mexico with them, and I didn't get rostered for that game, but just watching Cruz Azul play and stuff like that, it was crazy. Some of these guys.
So you got to go down, so you were at the Azteca, like watching.
Yeah, I was at the Azteca. I trained there the day before the game. It was crazy, a beautiful stadium, and then yeah, I didn't get rostered, so I was up in like a private booth with some of the other guys, but it was still such a great experience.
It was one of the iconic stadiums in the world, man. That's amazing. Obviously,
Yeah.
the Wanderers ground is more iconic, but you know what I mean. So there's been so much buzz around. Obviously Doneil coming in, and like it's everybody kind of gets asked about it. But I have to ask the question because obviously you're a defender. So him coming into the squad obviously is a huge boost for the city, huge boost for the squad. It's put Halifax on the map that we're able to attract a player of that quality. But what's he like having around the squad? Because I watched the mic'd up video that he had, and he just seems a bit of a character, and he just seems like such a great guy just to have around, just to G everybody up.
Yeah, no, he's a really good guy to have in the locker room. Yeah, I remember he came in, and yeah, he's not like a guy that I guess is like cocky. He's not cocky, he's for everything he's done, he's a very humble guy, and he's came here, and he's just looking to like teach us like everything, like he's a great role model. Even at practice the other day, like some stuff wasn't going so well and some guys were getting frustrated, and he just called us over in the huddle at the end of practice and sat us down and just had like a 10-minute talk with us, and basically saying, like it's our job to come here, and it doesn't matter if you're in the lineup or not. You come out here, you're gonna be in the lineup. There's a long season, basically, he said. So, and he was just kind of making sure everybody comes here and does their job no matter what, and yeah, I'm learning a lot from him, even just for my position and stuff like that. And he's a great guy that you can just go talk to and stuff like that. He's a great person, honestly. So even outside of soccer.
So obviously when you're playing and you look over and you see that guy on the bench, has it upped your game now, where like this guy's like biting at your heels to get into the team? So do you feel like you're kind of it's making you a better player, just having that competition sitting there waiting to take your spot, basically?
Yeah, for sure. No, it's always good to have competition. And yeah, I remember Jed asked me that. He's like, "How do you feel? Like when you saw Doneil's coming?" And I was like, "I'm excited, because I can learn so much from him." And even I was saying, even play beside him in a back three, maybe left, because when we're in possession, I could go left at when we were in possession, the left back turns into like a left center back, right? So
yeah,
it even go there. So yeah, I was just looking forward to him coming and seeing what I could take away from it.
So do you think like having Doneil come in, it's already helped us bring in a player like Jordan Peruzza? Like, I mean, I honestly don't think that a year ago we're bringing him in, kind of thing. So how is he adapting? How is he fitting in with the squad?
Yeah, no, Jordan, he's fitting in. He's fitting in good. He's a worker for sure at practice. He just runs, and yeah, he's got a very good left foot on him. And yeah, he's a lot of the guys already know him. And I know Pat knows him from a kid and stuff like that too. So yeah, it's he's settling in well.
That's great. It just seems like that Patrice just has so many. He just knows so many people in Toronto, Ontario, because like it just seems like everybody that's coming in, like they have some sort of relationship with him. Like it just seems like that we're really lucky to have someone like that's able to, through his relationships, bring people in. Like, I mean, you wouldn't be here. So many,
Mhm.
and I guess
Yeah.
have you got? Like, I'm sure like you played with probably most of the guys already, so you already have that bond.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how many people he knows, even in the States for universities and stuff like that. Because I was a big part of Vaughn too, is getting these guys from high school to university. Like some guy, like Pat could go tell a coach, yeah, this guy's good without even seeing him. Like that coach will be ready to sign him just because of how much they trust Pat. So yeah, when I first met Pat, it was crazy. Like that's what I noticed from him, like how many people he knows and stuff like that.
It's so funny. So obviously another big part of our summer thing is Joe Morelli coming back. Like, sure, like a lot of fans are the same thing. Like how he's been so able to get up to speed already. Like, are people on the team like surprised at how like he's able to, after being out for like a year, almost a year and a half, like he's able to play 90 minutes. He's able to, were you surprised by that?
Yeah, I think a lot of us were surprised because we didn't know how he would be when he came back. But yeah, after like the first week of training, he was already like flying around. So and I guess from there you gotta I think he like the game when Teo got injured, he got like 70 minutes or close to it. So yeah, after that, like he basically just showed that he's ready to go for like 90s, so
So like obviously like most of the squad that he left last year aren't here anymore. So how has he been kind of settling back into the run of things, you think?
yeah, I think he's settled in good. He's a leader himself. He talks a lot off the field and will get us going before games and at practices and stuff. And he shares a lot of his experience with us too. So, and he's still got like Rampy and some of the other guys like Chris and Mo from last year too. But yeah, we're all really close with Zhao too. So it's
Love
just
it,
good.
man. Yeah, like he's an incredible person and he's been through so much. Just to see him back and like enjoying his football again has been one of the highlights of the season so far. So it's really good to see him. So the club like has itself has progressed so much this year already. We like with the under 23s, they brought out an under 18s team. They've announced today that they're starting a women's team. Like with all this, is everybody around the clubs like really excited about how the club's progressing? Like, it just feels like this year we've taken so many big steps and it just seems like we have a vision.
Yeah, no, I think it honestly kind of catches some of us off guard sometimes because like we never know like what's coming next. Like I had no idea there's a women's team coming to Halifax and like even like the U18s and like U23s happened so fast. Like we're wondering like where all these guys came from and how do they get scouted and stuff like that. Like it's kind of crazy how it all came so fast. And I didn't know if it was like that last year or not because I wasn't here. So yeah, I didn't know if it was already like a U23 team or U18. I was unaware, but just even like the stuff they're doing and the publicity they're getting and stuff like that, it's really good, I think.
Yeah, it just feels like they're really trying to bring a pipeline through because like last year we had the under 23s and they had a couple of exhibition games against some teams from the Quebec League. The under 18 squad is a new thing. Like the women's team coming in is going to be a new thing. It just feels like the club is putting their resources into the right way because I guess they want to have Halifax the way that Forge are, where like there's just they just have an endless pool of players
Yeah,
to just pick from. It's kind of crazy.
yeah.
So looking ahead to Saturday, you know, we drew Vancouver at home. We lost away to them. What have you guys kind of learned from those two games of the style that they play and how we need to kind of counteract that?
Yeah, the biggest thing that we've been saying this week is that we cannot play their game, which is kick and run. We can't give in to them, which kind of happened last game when they beat us at their home. Where we kind of just gave in to that kick and run, and that's what they're good at, and that's their style of play. That's what they get their success off of. So we're really focusing on moving the ball because even though when they press, there's space in behind them. So we're really looking to keep the ball and break lines and play our style against them.
Love it, man. Love it. Like I hope as I said, I'm not gonna go because it's also beer fest. So that's it's where my priorities lie, I guess. So no, it's I have to watch my kids, so I'll be watching from home. So hopefully like I'll break that jinx and you can start a new run at home. So the last question we always ask everybody in the show, you're gonna play in a five-a-side tournament from the players you've played with, who makes your team?
Dan, I was on the phone with Dan before this. He told me to get my five-side ready. Um, okay, and I can include myself,
Of
right?
course.
Should I do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're the coach.
So five-side. Okay, yeah. So I'll say me. Do I have to pick a goalie or is a goalie kind of
It's up to you, man. It's your team.
okay? We won't need a goalie, so it'll be me. Tiago top. Um, Lorenzo, That's 3. Who else is there? I'll get Dan to hold it down with me at the back for like a 2, and
Nice.
then I'm trying to think. Oh, and this one's a tough one. And I have to say probably Zach. Yeah.
That's a solid fucking team. Like Lorenzo
Really?
would be amazing at 5-a-side.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's pretty solid. Hopefully you just play last man back, so it's either you or Dan who like will jump in nets, and then you've got Zach bombing down the right, and then you've got Lorenzo just pulling the strings. It's a pretty solid fucking team.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I really appreciate you like taking the time to hang out. I know you probably want to do anything else rather than do this, so I really appreciate it. Hopefully things go well on Saturday, and hopefully I'll see you at the ground soon.
Yeah. Thank you. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too.
Folks, please. Right foot, please. Time to drink us, folks. Get out. Out to fuck.